guys, I'm back. Time to jump into some more Sonic 3 and Knuckles by making our way through Launch Bay Zone. So here we are, Launch Bay Zone, the final level for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Launch Bay Zone lives up to its reputation of being a final level, as there are sadistically placed enemies and traps that will serve to hinder your progress as you progress through the level. We are immediately introduced to one of these traps. If you run through this, it will trigger a sensor warning, as demonstrated. This brings in an enemy known as Flybot 767. Flybot 767 operates very similar to the Batbots from Carnival Night Zone. It will effectively home in on your last position and attempt to attack you. The best way to deal with the Flybot 767 is to essentially defeat it or outrun it. We are immediately greeted with another enemy known as Orbinaut. Orbinaut is a particularly nasty enemy as it's invulnerable to any standard attack that you have. The best way to defeat Orbinaut is essentially have an invincibility shield, activate your super form, or if you're playing as Sonic, a timely instant jump can defeat it. My best advice to players, ignore it. It's not worth the headache. Anyway, go left here for a giant ring. Here we're greeted with a flame bar trap. Most flame bar traps usually have 2 or more. They're pretty easy to avoid, just get the timing down on them. Just watch them and then either jump or go down depending on where you're at in the level. Here we're greeted with one of the 2 gimmicks of this level. These elevators will transport you to another section of the level, assuming they don't decide to glitch out like you just saw. Time these columns right, avoid the Orbinaut there. Yeah, like I said, the enemies are sadistically placed. Here we're greeted with another enemy known as Snail Blaster. Much like Orbinaut, they're invulnerable when their shell is up. However, when their shell is down and firing their blaster, that's when you attack them. Destroy that to knock the bridge down. And go right here for an invincibility shield. Now we can defeat Orbinaut. That necessarily won't hurt you, but it will detract from time. Here's another enemy known as Rybot. They come in 3 varieties, that's the arm variety. They're annoying. That's all I can really say. I do not like Rybot. I can't count how many of my better runs were ended by that thing. Anyway, here's a checkpoint. They're scattered sparsely through this level. Let's see if I can get a shield. I would very much like a shield. The flame shield will make you invulnerable to the flame bar's attacks. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see how long I can keep my shield for. Wait a minute. Ah, yes. There's a ring box down here if you need rings. Okay, here's the other variety of Rybot. Time your jump right. If you don't, the arm will hit you and damage you. For these rotating platforms, I'd recommend just doing small hops, mainly because if you go around, kind of demonstrate it here, sometimes you'll be bounced back by a trampoline. As I said, the traps here are very sadistic. Thankfully I have a flame shield, so I don't have to worry about that flame bar. But I do have to worry about that laser. Pinball Land? You're not Pinball Land. Phew. That jump can be tricky. Take this thing out. Careful when dropping down. Sometimes they'll have sadistically placed traps like that. And I think I just screwed myself. Yeah, there's no way around this. Use my invincibility frames to avoid that. As I said, the enemies are sadistically placed. I can't reiterate that more than enough. Downside is I really couldn't glide without activating my super form. I haven't spoken on this yet, but here's the other gimmick of this level. These pipes will lead you to other areas. However, I'm just going to demonstrate this for lulz. Yeah, you can enter him backwards. It doesn't serve any purpose, but it is kind of funny. Boy. Do I want to drop? Why not? I'll activate my super form. I don't really recommend activating your super form all that much. Mainly because you really kind of want to save it. Let me go down. If I remember correctly, there is... Yeah, there's a hidden alcove here that can grant you either the bubble shield or the electric shield. This is one area I do not recommend going fast at. Yeah, I can't count how many times my runs have ended because I got crushed under this platform. Really sadistic on the game creator's part to do that. But it teaches a valuable lesson, too. Thankfully, not so much here. Time that right, and drop down. Yeah, those elevators have a habit of glitching out sometimes. Drop down here. Avoid that. Pinball land? Nope, no pinball land. Here is where Knuckles' path diverts from Sonic's. If you recall, if you play as Sonic or Tails, Knuckles will bring this entire structure down. However, playing as Knuckles, well, you just drop down. Go left here for a checkpoint. Why not? I pretty much would like to get a bubble shield for the next level. Thank you. Yeah, in the next act, we go underwater. Anyway, drop this, and we are at the boss. Yep, we fight 2 of these things. If you recall from Sonic or Tails' storyline, you only fight 1 of these. In Knuckles' story, you fight 2 of them. These are known as the Swing'em Spikes, or in Japan, the Twin Hammers. The same strategy applies as before when playing as Sonic or Tails. Just hit them on the sides and avoid their spinning attacks. Honestly, the fight doesn't really go any longer than if you were playing as Sonic and Tails. Ah, missed that one. Okay, there we go. Come on, you know you want to go down. There we go. Platform crumbles before you, signpost drops. We have ended Act 1. Okay, onwards to Act 2. Yep, the majority of Act 2 for Knuckles is spent underground. Oh. Yes, Timmy jumps just right here. Don't hit that arm, or you'll lose your shield or your life. Same principle applies as before. Take it easy and take it slow. This level is just as unforgiving. Actually, I might say it's a little bit more unforgiving. Yeah. Well, that was badly timed. Oh well. As I said, the flame bar traps come in usually more than one. Just time it right, and you should be able to get through them with very little problem. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm right, go right for a giant ring. You know, I might just activate it just because, yeah, I need the extra protection. I really don't want to lose my rings and all in one go. Nope. Pinball Land. See if I can get a bubble shield. Because as I said, you go underwater in this level, and you can still drown in your super form. Come on. Bubble shield, please. Apparently it feels compelled to give me flame shields and rings. Oh well. And one-ups, apparently. Oh well. Aha! If I remember correctly. Yep, this is where you fill the entire underground structure with water. Thankfully, we have a bubble shield, so we won't have to worry about drowning. However, if you don't have a bubble shield, this can get very, what's the term I want to look for? Very hair-raising? Because there's a section that we're about to come up on, where you have to time your jump just right. That particular jump that I just did is annoying to make. I can't count how many times I've actually died trying to make that jump. Just because it's so precise. Anyway. Well, we can go for a few extra rings. We're about to come up on the Act 2 boss. The Act 2 boss for Knuckles is interesting to say the least. You fight the laser beam, much like when you're playing as Sonic and Tails, but this is where it differs from Sonic and Tails. Rings. Okay, sorry, I got distracted by rings. Anyway, yeah, in this particular storyline, you fight the Big Arm. Now, why we fight the Big Arm, I have no idea. Just feels kind of wrong abandoning Knuckles' storyline, but that's just me. I think I'd be more okay with it if we actually fought it in Sonic and Tails' storyline, but for some reason, when you connect it with Sonic and Knuckles, well, they removed it, and I'm not sure why. Oh, that was Laser Beam. Anyway, here's the Big Arm. Same strategy. Well, actually, we never fought the Big Arm in Tails' or Sonic storyline, so I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Anyway, the strategy for this fight is essentially to try to hit him in the center and avoid the arm. This is demonstrative of capturing you. When you're in your super form, if you're not playing in Sonic 3, Yeah, it basically bounces the big arm back. However, if you're playing in Sonic 3, it can actually harm you in your super form. And that's that. Can be a fairly challenging boss if you don't have a super form. Anyway, we're at the animal prison, so I'm gonna call it here. In the next part, we shall make our way through Mushroom Hill Zone. I hope everybody enjoys this, and I shall see you in the next episode.